Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever part of world you're joining today from. Welcome to another exciting meeting at Toastmaster for Hyderabad Entrepreneurs. Hyderabad, the city of pearls, or the city of jewels, and a long ago. But today we are here to know about alternative investments. For every way, we always have, rather say, every plan A, there's a plan B. And somebody even says we have 26 alphabets in English. So 26 different ways. And somebody even, when you go to Excel, it gives you numerous combinations. The permutation and combination with the letters, it becomes all different. But so is journey in entrepreneurship, right? So most of times we are just bored of one way or the rather conventional method when you deposit your money in bank or when you're doing fixed deposit. It's more like just small returns. But we as entrepreneurs want more. That always gives the way to alternatives, the alternative investments. We're going to talk about rather starting from what is alternative investment. So the basic definition says whichever is not conventional method. So what a conventional method is something like where you have as cash, maybe as a black money, maybe buried under your bed or kept in your bank locker, depends upon black or white ratio. Or maybe you're putting in some stocks, or maybe putting in your bank as a fixed deposit. As we told, that may not always be good. Safe, safe. If you are looked into what happened to certain countries when the money is over certain limit, when the country goes into crisis, your money is gone, boss. I will not name the country, but it happened most of the people who kept their money in the banks. But then coming to what are the non-conventional method or alternative investment. So let me list them. Before even list, let's talk about the features of that this alternative investment gives you, or rather some features which we go into it in a larger view. First thing, complex in nature. Second thing is they're lesser transparent or lack of regulation. For example, when it comes to a bank deposit, or maybe a fixed deposit, or maybe an insurance, a stock, they're liable under some regulations. Anything that's happening, poker, bank, the big brother just comes and then takes hold of people who are doing that. But in this alternative investment, not every time somebody does that. And then limited performance indicator. For example, if I look into performance indicator, for example, let us say how US dollar is doing against Indian rupee, or maybe how the euro is doing against the USD, something like that, or looking at how the banks are performing, or what is that India is doing. Based upon that, I can look at or rather forecast how it is going to happen for the country. The performance indicators are available there, but not in this alternative investment. The closure-ended forms is where you need to keep a long term. This is not something like I keep a fixed deposit for 6 months and take it out. It doesn't happen in alternative investment. And then lastly is fairly illiquid. Now, when you put your cash in gold or put cash in bank deposit, just go check it or sell your gold. Something you just come out with the cash in hand. It doesn't happen in alternative investment that easily. Now, what are the advantages? Is low correlation with markets. For example, let us say I buy an antique piece in my hand, Veera Alauddin magic lamp, or maybe something else, of course. But then it has its own value. It doesn't depend upon the intrinsic metal value. It all depends upon what is the value of antiquity for that. And it does not depend upon any market, what's happening right now. But whereas if you look at the way that your cash is going to flow, for example, as soon as the country is going to depression, the interest rate is going down, or maybe when you're buying gold or something else, it also depends upon the financial factors. But this An antique piece does not relate to the market value. Second thing is you can diversify your portfolios. Not everything goes everywhere. You can diversify maybe 10%, 5% or something. It depends upon that. And then when it comes to risk, it's a low overall risk on this. If you just calculate and then do the proper investment risk. Sometimes, not every time, of course, that you get a lot of returns on this. And the last but not least is active management. You can actively manage. You have got that physically in hand something that, and then also you can have a closer look. Now let us talk about what are the different types of alternative investment. There are the few alternative investment that I'm discussed today about before going to next section of the meeting. First thing is private equity. Second is hedge funds. Third is venture capital. Real assets are where you talk about gold, silver, or when you go and buy some land, or anything depends upon that. Commodities, and then antiquity and collectibles, something like I collect coins, are rather antiques and deal in them too. So that is a kind of entrepreneurship in itself. Today, it is rated fourth alternative investment across the world. We'll deep dive and talk about them in while we progress into the meeting. To discuss how Toastmaster for Hyderabad Entrepreneur works is we have one section is we have prepared speech. Second section is where we have an elevator or investment pitch. Third section is table topics. And fourth section is evaluation, the food for your thought today. So let us deep dive into our session today. We have one speaker today. It is DTM Santosh. Before I invite the speaker, can I invite the speech evaluator, Toastmaster Anne-Marie, who is joining from beautiful Caribbean island. Toastmaster Anne-Marie, can you give the speech objectives for DTM Santosh?
Yes, it's my pleasure to be here today and to introduce DTM Santosh with a title called Viral, Captivating. The project embarks on evaluation and feedback under the motivational strategies journey. And the purpose of the project is to practice applying feedback and serve as an evaluator during a club meeting. DTM Santosh is to focus on the speaking style and recommendations for improvement. Over to you, DTM Santosh.
DTM Santosh, do you want to quickly check your audio?
Yes, am I audible and am I visible?
You're audible and visible. So before I invite Santosh, I invite all the guests who are joined. I would request please keep your video on for your improvement and also for us to get to know you better. Thanks, Diana, for joining from Canada. So DTM Santosh, viral, DTM Santosh. Over to you. I'll be the timer. You can pin me.
When the pandemic struck in 2020, one thing that people started doing of late was watching videos, listening to music, listening to talks and podcasts. And that was the time when I thought, just had a wide imagination to try something and become viral. Now, I don't say that I have become viral. And however, one thing that I learned from doing that, now an attempt to being viral was that I learned how to study an audience, how to strategize things, and how to be consistent. Now, by now you must have understood that what I have done. What I've done is I've simply started a podcast and a YouTube channel. Now, you might think, what is the relationship between a YouTube channel or creating digital content and business? Let me tell you, they are absolutely linked up to each other. And the stats which are there will prove that again and again. Now, when I started my YouTube channel, I never had an idea what I'm going to do. However, I stopped doing it now, but I learned certain lessons. Now, let me share certain lessons. Number one, as I said, was how to study my audience. How many of you remember these doodle videos that used to come on YouTube? Doodle videos. A hand would come and then scratch something and go away. Now, what was the year that we used to see these videos? It was 2016, 17, right? Do we get them now? No, not much, not often. Now, let me ask you one more question. There was a time when, now, this is the time when most people are creating content around personal finance. Now, are we seeing personal finance videos before 3 years? Not that much, right? We are seeing them very less. Now, I understood that this is one key. That is to understand what type of content is being created. When I started creating these podcasts and videos, I started by creating book reviews, and I thought I'll hit 10 million subscribers. Now that looks like a joke, but still, I learned it the hard way. Now that was the same lesson that I have learned. Now creating book reviews or book summaries, many people have done it. Already so many people are there in the market who are doing it. So the thought process should be something like this. What all the creators in the world are doing, or at least those creators on my feed are doing. That is the first question to ask. And number two, how can I create something that is out of the box, that is not someone has already done? I'll give you an example. There is one YouTube channel and a podcast that I follow, which is the Beer Biceps. Now, how many of you know Beer Biceps? Many of you, right? Now, what did this guy do? I've closely been following this person for a lot of years now. Now, I feel that this guy started creating fitness videos around 2015 when nobody was doing that. And that gave him that curve, that early mover advantage that we can call it as. That is doing something before anyone else have done it. Now, this is one important lesson. Now, the same lesson can be applied to any subject. For instance, when giving speeches as Toastmasters, how can I open a speech in such a way that it will be out of the box? How can I start to market or funny, crazy videos by moving all around? Right? No. Why? There comes the second important question that I have learned, that is, what do my audience need? What do my users need the most? Now, again, here, the example of personal finance video comes into picture, because 2020 was the time, 2021 was the time when the interest rates on most popular investment idea in Indian community, that is fixed deposit and recurring deposit, were reduced to 4 or 5%. And that is when personal finance folks started making videos. They catered to the pain point of all of us, or most of us, that is getting higher interest rates. And that is where these people do. So this is the second lesson, that is how can I ensure that I am catering to the pains of the customers? Now, let me give you a real-time example. Now, this is about going viral. Now, how can we apply this? There is this startup which is Bharat Pay. Now, if you are aware of it or not aware of it, how did Bharat Pay start? Bharat Pay has done these two things. Bharat Pay studied what the market, what all the other people in the market in the segment are doing. They are giving QR codes and you have to scan them. Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm, all these people. And then, but the main problem was that I have to scan various different codes. Now, Bharat Pay said, I'll converge all of them and I'll create one QR code for all leads. So they have done something that nobody else have done. And number two, they have scattered to the pain point. So these are the lessons that I have learned in an attempt to getting viral. One is what can I do differently? And number two is how can I cater to the pain points of the consumers or viewers? Thank you, and over to Raghu.
Thank you very much, DTM Santosh. I forgot to introduce the role plays for today. We have Toastmaster Naj, who is helping us as our counter of the day, and Toastmaster Sarah, who is a word master grammarian, and I am going to assist you as a timer of the day. So, Sarah, can you please introduce the word of the day and give the meaning and how we can use that in our regular speeches or regular language?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are present globally. As rightly said by Stephen King, grammar is the pole you grab to get your thoughts up on their feet and walking. So that basically just means that today I will be your grammar police, and it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I'll take note of any misuses of the English language, as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts. And I will note down the formal or slang used during the meeting, as well as what accents were used. As the grammarian, my second duty is to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word is a selkut. You can very well see it on my virtual background, which means extraordinary, peculiar. An example of using the word of the day is Toastmasters International gives birth to selkut leaders and orators. Each speaker is encouraged to use of the word of the day, especially the table topic commentators and the evaluators. I will give my report at the end of the meeting when I am called upon. With that, back to you, Master Sebnis.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sarah. Toastmaster Naj, do you want to please inform us how you are going to assist us our counter for today?
Good evening, guests and fellow Toastmasters. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Raghu. Your speech is going fine and the words are tumbling out perfectly and effortlessly. Your intonation is in place. Your voice is rising and falling just in the right places. And suddenly, like a faucet running dry, nothing, a long pause. Your mind just goes blank and you are, oh no, what was I going to say next? Your brain just freaks out. And in that uncertain moment, you want to plug the hole. You hear yourself uttering the two most dreadful words in Toastmasters. Actually, believe you me, you have just committed a cardinal sin in the Toastmaster universe. You have relied upon crutches, words like so, like, basically, pauses. These are crutch words or filler words, also known as meaningless utterances, which we use to keep up the flow of our speech. Not only are these distracting and destroy the fluency of your speech, they are also signs of not being a very fluent speaker. So we have to watch out for these. And my role today is to keep a record of all the speakers and the number of crutch words that they use. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Naz. I believe I should give you the best accountant of the world award, like I give best grammarian award to Anne Marie. Thank you for being in the meeting and helping us today. Now, it's time to see the important part of Toastmaster for Hyderabad entrepreneurs. That is the elevator pitch. Now we have a gentleman who is joining us today from Pune. He has served Indian Army and also serving today the society as an educational coach. Now he is here today to give an investment pitch. And evaluating him, we have two great gentlemen, DTM Amol, who is a distinguished Toastmaster and also as an entrepreneur and one of the best person I know in Toastmaster community. Then another very beautiful soul that I know from Hyderabad is Toastmaster Abdul Rahman, who is a Toastmaster and also an entrepreneur. Now we'll see what he has to, what our Colonel Uday has to say, and then what these two gentlemen has to evaluate. So let me invite, without any delay, our friend Toastmaster Uday to give his elevator pitch. Over to you, Uday.
Thank you, DTM Raghu, for that wonderful introduction. May I know the time sequence, please? Time?
It will be 3 to 5 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What an opportunity and what a platform to speak to the audience. As said, I'm Colonel Uday Jagavkar. I'm an entrepreneur. I have my own outfit known as Unique Touch. This outfit specializes in corporate soft skill training and career counseling. What I bring to the table? Well, I bring to the table the plethora of experience. It's not only of the experience, it's experience of the two giants, that is the Indian Army and the corporate world. You all know the ethos of the Indian Army are different. The working styles are different. Whereas the working styles in the corporate are the different. But the end result is the same. The end result is what you achieve and what your goal or mission is. I'll put it very simply. In Army, they say training is very important. And there's a famous saying, the more you bleed, the more you work in peace, the less you bleed in war. Or the more you train in peace, the less you bleed in war. In Army or in the defense, there is no value for the balance sheet. The balance sheet is your mission, whether it's been completed or not. But whereas in the corporate sector, the balance sheet or your finances, but the goal is the same. The goal is to achieve the mission or a target. In the defense parlance, it is known as the mission, but in the corporate world, is known as the target. Well, when I conduct trainings, I merge both the skills and experience, what I learn in the two different aspects, and bring it to the table. That is why my training is little different from the others, because I bring something new to the table. Similarly, when I'm doing career counseling, I get something extra to the table. Having served in the defense, I know exactly what we are looking for. It is not that in corporate, we are not looking for that. To just give a simple example, I'll quote something. There was a friend of mine who said, my son runs 10 kilometers a day, but he does not pass. I said, friend, we don't want to, any one of you run 10 kilometers. We want you to run 1.6 kilometers under 5 minutes. That is what it is. So knowing the target, knowing what it requires, it's very important. There is no point in struggling and working on something which you think you're good at. What is important? To deliver it. So my Unique Touch delivers what we say. In the lockdown, I used to have a lot of trainings online, almost at all places. But now it's become a little difficult because everybody wants offline. And they know I'm based at Pune. You have to move out to a training house at Hyderabad or Bangalore. The cost is involved. So I would like to connect with the people, give a team under an umbrella of Unique Touch where they can go and conduct the training. Similarly, for career counseling, which I'm doing it online, which I'm doing it offline, if some team members could join me, join hands together, and I'm telling you, it will do wonders to the organization and the fellow friends who are there in different cities. We can work together. Of course, we can work out what best is there. But I assure you, I'm sure that with people of your experience attending this Toastmasters meeting, one thing is done, that you're a fantastic speakers. So that is not a problem. Just to add a little tinge to it, how it can be done, I'm open for it. If anybody would like to know more on this, please connect. We can take it further. And I thank you, Toastmaster Raghu, correction, DTM Raghu, for giving me this wonderful opportunity and forum and come and speak. Thank you very much. And back to you, DTM Raghu.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Uday. The time taken by you is 4 minutes, 21 seconds. Thank you. Now, I should ask the panel if they are ready with the evaluation, Rahman and Amol, or do you need some time? Wonderful. So let me invite the first speech evaluator, DTM Amol.
Good evening, everyone. Raghu, can you please confirm me the timing?
It's 1 to 2 minutes.
Or 2 to 3 minutes?
1 to 2 minutes.
1 to 2 minutes.
Right.
Good. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. And we just heard a proposition from a retired colonel from Indian Army about how he can bring changes in the way you do the business. Now, we heard an elevator pitch about his business. He's a trainer and a career counselor. And he was telling about what he can do for you so that you can improve your performance, how you can associate with him and help him improve his business or scale his business and all of these things. Now, let me straight away come down, since we have paucity of time, let me straight away come down to a few good points that Jagavkar mentioned. Number one, I like his self-confidence. The way he started was with a smile that exudes because he's from armed forces background, and definitely you expect an army veteran to have that confidence in him. Secondly, what I loved about him is he used some of the quotes that we generally use in the training programs. It's a famous quote that when you sweat in peace, you bleed less in war. That itself was an expression of how important a training program is. And if you sweat, if you practice, you will be a winner when the time comes. And you can stand the test of the time. Let me quickly come down to your recommendation for Colonel Jagavkar. Now, when an entrepreneur recommends a pitch or delivers an elevator pitch, he is basically suggesting a solution to a problem. Now, what I would have loved Colonel Jagavkar to do was three things. He could have structured his elevator pitch in what, why, and how. What means the hook? Grab the audience attention towards a problem. What is the problem which everybody faces? The problem is lack of skilled workers. The problem is lack of professionalism. The problem is lack of understanding of what is required on the job. Had that problem been featured, it would have worked for me as a hook. I would have paid 100% attention to Colonel Jagavkar's speech. Second thing was, why is a problem? Second part, so I have brought your attention to the problem that there's a lack of skill. But why is the lack of skill? Because the lack of efficient training programs. People don't understand what are the skills required for the growth and prosperity and your development. So second part could have been, why is the problem? And third part, the most important part, where Colonel Jagavkar could have offered his value proposition was, how do I do that? How do I resolve your problem? What do I do to resolve your problem? So what is the problem? Why is the problem? And how do I resolve the problem? Or how we can resolve the problem of underskilling? How we can upskill people? How we can guide people to various counselors? And that is where, Uday Jagavkar sir, you could have offered your value proposition as Unique Touch being a place to go where you can come and upskill yourself, or you can associate with Unique Touch and help others, skill others in their respective fields. So my proposition here is, when you are talking about elevator pitch, focus on the problem, give the reason for the problem, and offer your value proposition as a solution to it. And I think that will take you home. Over to you, Raghu.
Thank you very much, DTM Amol. And now I invite the second pitch evaluator, Toastmaster Rahman. Rahman, are you? Yeah, thank you. You can start, Rahman.
Yeah. Can I start? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Colonel Uday. It's a wonderful start informing the audience who you are, what you do, and what is your proposition. You very well explained the combination or correlation between the army and the experience in corporate world. That was a wonderful beginning. In any business proposition or in an elevator pitch, I would be looking for exact business proposition. Yes, you said you offer trainings, you offer career counseling. Specific which area the trainings are offered, and career counseling for whom. Who is the audience? Secondly, what is the investment required from your audience? Is it in terms of financial investment or any time investment? That I was looking for that specifics. The third thing is, what would be the return on the investment which I would be making? I was looking forward to this information. So my suggestion is that the elevator pitch would have been more clearer if you come up with very specific, the trainings offered in which area. Is it for the students? Is it for the employees or for entrepreneurs? And the trainings, the career counseling, for whom is it meant for? And what is needed from us? If this would have been clear, definitely I would have been an investor who would really come forward and join hands with you. And I look forward to connecting with you and get to know more about your area of business. And I would definitely like to work with you. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you, Toastmaster Rahman. Your time is type here, Rahman. It's 2 minutes 17 seconds. Thank you. Now we have seen the prepared speech and an elevator pitch. It's time to see the most vital part of Toastmasters, where we talk about talking on the toes, where we improve our critical thinking and able to improve our skills as public speaker. Maybe in our personal life, as one of my friends keeps saying, life is not a prepared speech. It's all about those impromptu moments. So let me invite my dear friend, Toastmaster Manoj, who is joining from Hyderabad, the city of pearls. Toastmaster Manoj, the table topic master of the day. The stage is yours.
Thank you, DTM Raghu, for giving me this opportunity. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So we have seen some spectacular speeches today from our speakers, Santosh and Colonel Uday. Thanks for the speeches. And one of the key points from the speeches from Colonel Uday said, there is an example where someone says that my son runs for 10 kilometers a day, but you need to know the target. You need to do 1.6 kilometers under 5 minutes. So that's the target. So those are situations where we know the target for sure. But life is the place where we don't know our targets. And here Toastmasters is the place where we actually get an opportunity to speak in such a sell-out situations that will also help us go viral. And here we are in that part where will be taking up the table topics. So I invite the fellow Toastmasters and guests to give a raise of your hand so that I can give you the topic for the table topics. Diana?
Yeah, Diana can type her response. So you can send her in chat.
Diana, I request you to choose something from 1 to 6.
Yeah, she says 6.
Okay. At what stage of entrepreneurship an entrepreneur should concentrate on alternate investment? At what stage in entrepreneurship?
Manoj, can you type that for her?
Sure.
Sure. She cannot speak. Sure. Meanwhile, can somebody else take up that? Sure. Yeah, DTM. Thank you for joining today. Yeah. People come forward to take up the topics. We have some topics in line with the theme of the day. Anybody want? Rahman, do you want to try? You want to show how the table topics is done for others? Rahman?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead. Manoj, you can give Rahman.
Sure, Rahman. So why don't you show something between 1 to 5?
1.
1. Strategy is not important for an alternative investment. DTM Abdul Rahman, your table topic is strategy is not important for an alternative investment.
Let me repeat the topic. Strategy is not important for alternative investment. Table topic master. I tend to not agree with this statement. Strategy, I believe, is extremely important, whether in a professional environment or in a personal environment. Strategy is important for our life. Anything we do should be strategized. It has to be planned and executed in the right manner. As we have been listening to the speakers, the elevator pitch, there is a strategy behind it. We talk about alternative investments, especially nowadays. There is a lot of focus by the government of India on alternative energy, for example. We are working on EV. There is a strategy. The whole the area has been thought out very well, looked into various aspects, and it has been strategized. When I'm dealing with my kids or with my wife, even I have to put in a strategy. I can't use the same strategy for dealing with each one of them. So I am of the strong opinion that strategy is extremely important for everyone, irrespective of it is utilized in alternative energy or alternative investment or any type of investment rather. Thank you.
Thank you, DTM Abdul Rahman. It's very good to know that strategy is important not only in our alternative investment, even in our daily life, dealing with our relations as well. It's a very good insight for us. Thank you for sharing that. So someone else who would take up the next table topic?
And Marie, do you want to try? Santosh. DTM Santosh.
Yeah, guess someone.
I can take if you want. Yeah.
Yeah, Santosh. So Santosh, anything between 2, 3, 4 and 5?
2.
2.
Yeah.
Given one option, which would you choose as your alternative investment and why? So I repeat the topic. Toastmaster Santosh, given one option, which would you choose as your alternative investment and why?
Okay, thank you. I would say that investing is one of the most important things, and that is something that I have been indulging into of late. Now, given an option, I'd like to indulge into investing not in one alternate investment but multiple. First is I'll try to use my ATC, which is 1,50,000 rupees. After that, I'll try to do PPF. Then I will do ELSS. Then I will go for stocks and also go for. Then I'll go for probably for mutual funds. So these are the investments. And apart from these, given an option to invest. Now, this is something that I've been realizing of late. I don't know if people having more experience would have realized it already. It is good to purchase properties in growth areas, especially commercial properties in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, because commercial properties do have a higher rental yield. Sorry for using a lot of jargon. At least commercial properties are basically those shops that we give out for rent. Rental yield is that thing that after getting rent, are you getting some profit or not? Now, the idea about these commercial properties is that nowadays they are also started to launch a mutual fund based on commercial properties. Say, for example, today I purchase something in Mindspace that is coming in a tier 3 city, then probably I can purchase that mutual fund, not the entire property, because I am anyways not having that capital. So that is more beneficial because they do have a rental yield up to 9%. So thank you, and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Santosh, for your insights on alternative investments. Yeah, you have given us a huge bundle of alternative investments where we can also think of them, and the ATC and other things, whichever you said, are very useful in general. Okay, thank you. So,
Manoj, this will be the last topic.
Okay.
So I want to take a topic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Madan. Thank you for coming up and taking up this last topic. So I'll give you the topic right away. Is cryptocurrency an alternative investment? If yes, why? If no, why? I repeat the topic. Is cryptocurrency an alternative investment? If yes, why? If no, why?
Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, everyone. If cryptocurrency is an alternative investment, if yes, why? If not, why? This is my topic. So, the investments itself a wide variety of different perspective. Like the investment itself a big area. Like when it comes to money, it itself a big area, because we see that some are professionals where they invest in stocks exclusively, and there are some who doesn't believe on risk-taking investments, but they go for a normal kind of investments. When I say normal kind of investments, they are fixed investments, like something that is completely yielding the expected results. Okay, so cryptocurrency, when it comes to cryptocurrency, it's cryptocurrency is something which is a masterpiece. Like in case if you are excellent and if you have a prior excellent knowledge or good knowledge about it, and you won't take a high risk, and you know everything about the market and how it goes and the future about it, in those cases, yes. And again, I repeat that if you are a master, so in any investments, if you are a master in that, and if you have a wide experiences, let's say 6 years, 7 years experience in that, and you have fallen down many a times in life, investing and then earning, investing and then earning. That's how you learn, right? So in those cases, for those kind of people, those people who invest on cryptocurrency, from them is good. But for one who is a new or a
guy who is a middle investor, like you don't want to take risk and you don't know much about it, then in those cases, for those kind of people, the cryptocurrency is not a good investment. So it's all about a investment, be it a mutual funds, ELSS or SIP or fixed deposit, PPF, any kind of cryptocurrency, or even including betting also in that case. Okay, now the betting is, people bet on many things, right? The online. So if you are master in particular thing, then for that thing is good for you. If you are not master in that thing, I will say, please don't go to it. And that's it. Thank you, and over to our topic master.
Thank you, Madan. Thank you for your inputs. And it's very good insight for us where you say, if you are a master in something, you can invest in it. Yeah, that's very good. But I feel like if you're a master in something and you are already investing in that, you are actually, it's not just an alternative investment, it's your actual investment. So yeah, understood your point. And thank you for giving me this opportunity, DTM Raghu, over to you.
Thank you very much, Table Topic Master, Toastmaster Manoj, for a wonderful job and also bringing the topics in line with the theme of the day. While Diana has sent her message, the stage of speech, self-quote as better with eye contact or smile, that entrepreneurs should, with my self-quote disability, use a chat box, self-quote, feel powerful, this feel good. I think when it comes to using word of the day, Diana always surpasses everybody. Wonderful job, Diana. Now it's time, before I go into the next section, let me just quickly go through what we have to offer. As I'm going to talk about three things as alternative investment. First thing is private equity. It's when when some companies, without even going to public thing, they want to offer private equity. There's a great chance, if you think there's a lot of potential in those companies, you can invest in the private equity. So what you need to look at before investing is company performance and internal rate of returns. And also, you can not invest more than 10 to 20% bucket of what you want to plan. What you also need to see is the limited partnership is what is coming. And also look at the other part, the compensation and general partnership. Now, when it comes to the next part, which is more likely one of my, or rather, very favorite among people is real assets. The land, the natural resources like land, oil, etc., are the resources like the great minerals, which can be the copper, zinc, silver, gold, depends upon what you are rather interested in. Most people like to invest, especially Indians, love to invest in gold and silver. But you need a proper plan. You have to have a plan for this because you never know when the rates are fluctuating. I still remember the day when silver price went up to 75 rupees in India, and people started just running to invest in silver just because they thought somebody said fluctuated that it's going till 100 rupees per gram. But what happened? It just crashed within a week and came back to 50 rupees. Now, you never know what's going to happen. You have to plan properly and invest just 10 to 20% bucket. One thing, the good thing about this is it is inversely proportional to currency fluctuation. Now, as soon as you see that the US dollar is rising and Indian rupee is dropping, this silver and gold prices just happens even with your land prices, doesn't it? Now, it is very easy to invest and easy to maintain because you hold them. And I love to invest in things that I hold them, not somebody is holding and doing. The last thing that I'm going to talk about is antiquity and collectibles. My favorite hobby. I collect coins. I have invested a lot of my savings into that because I believe in that. It is a royal hobby when it comes to antiquity or collectible. And then it's a luxury investment. You need to have a proper planning and proper study because there's so many fakes. There's a lot of fluctuation and lot of people keep spreading so many fake news, especially when it comes to antiquity news. Plan properly and invest only 7 to 10% bucket of your investment planning. What are some cons is it depends upon certain factors which are not in control of anybody. Second thing is complex in nature. It's not something that you can just go and buy and come. Third thing is when it comes to liquidation, I have gold, I can go and liquidate. I have cash, I can go and just exchange. But when it comes to these antiquities, for example, I have a 100-year wine, I cannot just go and sell in any shop. I have to wait for it. I have to wait for somebody who has right to buy that. Unless that is done, it is simple old bottle. But someone like Sant, he will just a stupid bottle. Why would I pay that $10,000 for it? Right? It happens with everybody. That complexity of this nature is something that keeps away most of the people. But alternative are not like what we have in life, even investment do offer. I wish that knowledge will be able to help you in your investment journey. It's time to know how we all did in different sections. Let me invite the speech evaluator for today, Toastmaster Anne-Marie, to evaluate DTM Santosh's speech.
Hello, are you reading me loud and clear? Just say yes. Wonderful.
Yes.
DTM Santosh, your title from the very beginning was captivating, virals. And first impressions always count when you're doing a technical subject. I love that background. It captivated me. And you started with, when the pandemic started, I was on the edge of my seat, just waiting to hear what was going to come next. So well done for engaging me from the very beginning. One of your strengths is your pacing, and you left nice gaps for me to be able to digest some quite complex information. Your conversational style made you a friend having a chat, and you engaged me with questions. How many have used Google videos? I was also very encouraged by some positive questions, and the lessons that you left were using the 1, 2, 3 approach, which is so easy to digest the information. I love the questions. What do users need most? How can you apply lessons learned? And what can I do differently? So well done on that structure. To enhance your delivery, I want you to emphasize a structure with a clear opening, middle, and end. And it took a while for me to be able to understand that this had something to do with YouTube. You spoke about fitness reviews and personal finance, book revision, and I was a little confused as to where we were going. What was the purpose of this speech? I would also like to have seen some visual aid. This is a technical subject, so perhaps a background or a PowerPoint, just highlighting those key messages to support what you're saying, some technical sides. You gave a lot of information, and for me, I have no idea about the internet and YouTube, but it broke it down, and thank you for that. I was a little distracted because you have a tendency to look to the left. Engage me. I want to know that you want to speak to me. So looking sideward, you lose my attention. Look at the camera and perhaps support it with some positive gestures. Overall, though, the evaluation, you had the right ingredients of some technical information, engaging me with some clear lessons and analysis. And thank you for a review that has left an impression. Continue to excel. Just look at the clear call to action and a structure and a summary that I can take away. Your journey today left an impression. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie has taken 2 minutes, 42 seconds. Let me invite the our counter for today, Toastmaster Nash, to give the counter report.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Oh, what a wonderful evening. Thank you, Raghu. I'm so grateful that you invited me for this meeting. I'm really flabbergasted and I really don't have much of a report. Everyone here was such a fluent speaker. Everyone seems to be like really confident and very, very experienced. So I was wondering at the end of the session, what report would I present? But thankfully, giving me perverse delight, I did get my chances. So there was, during the table topics, I found some of my targets, so to speak, because during the prepared speeches, it was also good. I just didn't find any pauses. So during the table topics, I had noted Toastmaster Madan with 5 R's and 2 repetitions, which and cryptocurrency, and an elongated and Santosh, Toastmaster Santosh, he did once. The evaluator Amol repeated helping others. Toastmaster Manoj, he did 4 times. So that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Naz. Let me invite Toastmaster Sarah as a grammarian for her report.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening once again to everyone present here. I was your grammarian for today. I definitely, want to rephrase the word grammarian to grammar Nazi more. And I might even reach out to Toastmasters International to get them to do it, because essentially these two roles, the accountant and grammarian, are very, very important and very, very critical in developing you to become better orators and better communicators. Because at the end of the day, we are here to learn how to communicate better, how to bridge that communication gap that we often have. Today's meeting was really wonderful and a quality and a wholesome meeting altogether. One thing that I noticed with all the speakers is that they weigh their words before they start speaking. They think about it before they immediately jump into speaking, because that's what you need to do as a communicator. You need to think, you need to assess what you're going to say before you say it, because you might fumble. That's where the accountant picks you up on it. And once you fumble, you will get flustered and you might mess up on grammar and language. That's where the grammarian will pick you up on it. But that did not happen in today's meeting. It makes my work a little bit more easier than ever. The word of the day was selkut, which means extraordinary. There are several places there are ways and several places that one can use the word of the day. If you're not able to, it's not a crime. First of all, do not beat yourself up for it. Think about it. If you're presented with the word of the day, if you take it upon yourself as a challenge that at least let me use it at least once, with the way I present speech, evaluation, or table topic commentary, things might change. You will open yourself to a larger extent of vocabulary. Isn't that what we want to do? We cannot just bog down ourselves with the words that come up is amazing, awesome, exceptional, phenomenal. No, go out of the way saying it was a Selkut meeting with Selkut speakers, and the constructive evaluations that were given were Selkut in a way that I never expected it. Go above and beyond to show that you are trying to improve yourself. Thank you to Deanna, because she used the word of the day correctly, first of all, and in the right format. And she used it through the chat, which is something really, really good. And the rest of them, Toastmaster Manoj as well used it in the correct sense. Thank you so much. That's your first step to actually building yourself up. So kudos to that. Other than that, we had great words usage by literally everybody. Now, something that I would like to tell, because as this is a club for catering to entrepreneurs, when you have guests and you don't know whether the guest is from the same area of expertise or the same, mutual area of interest, please make sure that you use lesser jargon words. For example, I'm not an entrepreneur. How would you make me understand certain things? For example, our Toastmaster of the day talked about alternative investments. That is important. He showed the presentation. He made me understand through that bit. But when we come to speakers, when we come to our elevator pitch, when we come to certain, for the evaluators as well, certain things you need to pick it up, by yourself, telling them that at this stage, at the club level, it might work. But when you go global, when you go international, not everyone might understand you. Break it down. That is the idea. And language helps you break it down. So lesser on the jargon words. Even if you have to present a jargon word, explain it in a manner that everybody could understand. That's my report for today. Thank you so much. And back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Two great reports. And the language users could have, especially Naj and our dear friend, Toastmaster Sarah. I really love the language that you both have used. Something to compare with my dear friend Anne-Marie. Well, thank you very much for joining today's meeting. One thing I would tell you, if you have seen the movie, the Indian movie Robo, there's a sequel to it, Robo 2.0. Toastmaster for Hyderabad Entrepreneur is coming with 2.0, and we have a lot of changes and also members from across the world. And last but not least, is a better version where you get to practice your elevator pitch, investment pitch, or maybe even your job interview. Anything that you want to practice and then get it evaluated and then improving your skills. This will certainly help you a lot in your journey as an entrepreneur or as a professional. I wish you all the best and happy learning.